Hello, my witchy and crafty friends. This is 𝗔𝗶𝗃𝗃. I'm here today with a flip through and hopefully an intuitive reading with the Mystic Sisters Oracle by Emily Ballivet. This is published by US Games. And if you saw my major deck haul video where I ordered 8 decks from US Games, this was one of those decks. If you haven't seen that video, it's up here in the card. Please watch it after you've seen this one. This is an oracle deck, so I say I am hoping for a intuitive reading for you all on the general energies, because sometimes oracle decks don't really resonate very well with me, or I don't resonate very well with them. So we'll see with this one. I have not even thumbed through it. I've actually been so busy filling orders. Thank you all so very, very, very much, that I haven't even had time to go through these 8 decks yet. I've been through 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them, because what I like to do is work with the deck for 2 weeks before I move on to the next one. So it's going to take a little while. And all I did was I gave this one a quick glance through, because it is going to be the next deck I work with. So the cards do come in alphabetical order. I have shuffled them a couple times just to see how difficult it would be, because of my wrist surgery, to shuffle a deck, oracle size deck, as opposed to tarot deck. They're a little bit wider than a tarot card, sometimes a little bit longer, but this is the same length. It's just a little wider. The card stock, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's fine, and it's got some flex to it, so they're easy to shuffle. And I consider myself to have medium hands. It's easy to shuffle. The finish is a semi-gloss. I will be tilting the cards a little bit so that the glare from my ring light doesn't create a glare on the cards. The guidebook, I haven't even been through it, because like I said, I haven't worked through this deck at all. It's got your basic introduction, getting to know the deck, and then the cards, and it goes right into it. Each card has a title, 2 to 3 keywords, and then the interpretation. It tells you 1 or 2 sentences about who the goddess is, because each card on here represents a goddess, and that's it. Well, not each card. Wait a minute, because this is awakening here, so that's not a goddess. But we have Amunet, Aphrodite, Artemis, Bast, the bee goddess. Oh yeah, and then we have a Beltane reunion. Then we have Brigid, Ceres, Caridwen, Ishtar. Yeah, so most of these are goddesses, but some are not, but they're all related to goddess energy. Now let me see the back of the books. I don't know if it gives you any spreads. Yeah, just your typical, the single card spread, the 2 card reading for guidance and growth, 3 card, and then the 5 card cross reading. And that's it. So it's very short. So it's one of those oracles that, you know, it's not going to spell it all out to you, but what you do is you examine the card and you intuitively work in what your own feelings are. And then, you know, write them down with your interpretation of the reading. I tarot journal. I've been tarot journaling for forever. I began reading cards in 1976, and I began tarot journaling pretty much at the same time, because it's the only way as a 15-year-old that I could learn all 78 cards. I would repeatedly write down their interpretations. I'd fill one journal, get another one, do the same thing until I had them all down. That was on top of my regular schoolwork, and I was in the honors program. So, you know, it was catch as catch can working on my tarot studies, but a tarot journal helps so much. If you have interest in tarot journaling, let me know. I would love to do a series on how I tarot journal and show you guys I do have one video up about tarot journaling. It's here in the card. Please check that out once you've seen this video. If you want to see more, let me know. Just drop a comment. So here is beautiful, beautiful imagery. This is the goddess Nyx. And it just, I mean, it's really a stunning deck. This is the cover image from the guidebook. You can see it's tinted a little differently. I actually like it on the cover better than in the deck, but you know, whatever. It's beautiful either way. This is the goddess of sage, the sage goddess. Here we have Brigid. Here's Aphrodite. We have mermaids, not goddesses. You know, semi-divine beings, I guess. We've got the dragon goddess. And then from Greek mythology, Orpheus and Eurydice. Eurydice and Orpheus. Eris. Here's the awakening card I mentioned when I was going over the guidebook, as saying that's not a goddess, but, you know, still in keeping with the energy of the deck. And we have Lunar or Luna, moth goddess. Artemis. That's a great image of her. I love that. The Beltane reunion. Bast. I love this card. And the background, the artist Klimt, it looks like his patterned work. Just love that. Then we have Mind Garden. This one, to me, doesn't fit the deck at all. Just my opinion, though. You know, we're all entitled to our opinion. The Snake Charmer. Here we have Persephone. Hecate. Her secrets. I wonder what kind of secrets. This really cool image. The Red Queen. The Magical Key. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, I wear bifocals and I need new ones, so I didn't see it at first. I was like, wait, where's the key? Gypsy Queen. Again, this one here, to me, it doesn't seem to fit, but well, maybe it does. Amunet. Lilith. Mania. Again, to me, this one doesn't seem to fit either. Initiation. Theia. Or Theia. I'm not sure. Soma Goddess. I mean, these are just really interesting cards. Interesting how this one's in black and white for Matcha. Charms of Ishtar. She looks, wait a minute, she looks like the Gypsy, what was that? Was it Gypsy Queen? Let's find it right quick. Okay, no, it's not the same face. Same hairstyle, though. Okay. Mediterrina. I love the background. It's just really cool. And so much work went into these cards. These are hand painted. You can tell. It's not photoshopped. It's not Procreate. These are paintings. here are the Mystic Sisters, and this is the card that gives its name to the deck. These cards have a lot of flow in them. They have a lot of energy. And I think in a reading, they'll work really well helping the energy to flow from one card to the next in the reading. Meso-goddess. The Raven Goddess. I love this image. It's so beautiful. And they all are. Snow Queen. Sisterhood of the Silk Road. I keep thinking Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but you know, that's just me. Dryads. The Sisters of Harmony. And then to end it, Cygnus. So there we go. So now I'm going to shuffle these and try to do an intuitive reading with them, and then I'll go over what the book says, because the meetings are really short, so I won't have a whole lot to read to y'all. So let me just give this a few shuffles and concentrate on the energies around us at this point in time, or for whenever you find this video on YouTube. All right, I'm going to pull 3 cards. Just randomly here. And we'll see what they are, shall we? Oh, Brigitte, that's cool. That is the first goddess energy I ever worked with in my late teens. And we have Awakening. And then we have Raven Goddess. Okay. The first thing I do is if there are people on the cards or figures on the cards, I apologize for that ring light glare again. I will be tilting the cards when I interpret each one. But when I see figures on a card, I always make a mental note of what direction they're facing in. Because in card images, when figures face each other, that represents communication to me. If they have their backs turned to one another, it could be there's some sort of a fallout, a misunderstanding. So I always pay attention to that. So what we've got here, we've got Brigitte who's facing us straight on, holding her hand out, the flame shooting out of her hand. And to me, that's something being given to you, something being presented that's of great importance. And then we have the Awakening, where she's laying here on the ground. She's looking up, so she's not making eye contact with the viewer of the card. And there's a monarch butterfly there that she's watching. There's another butterfly back here. There's one here. And butterflies represent spiritual awakening and transformation. So this is representing a woman who's very focused on her own spiritual growth. And that's like her primary goal, is to grow spiritually. And then we have the Raven Goddess. And here she is looking intently at her raven, and the raven's looking at her. And they're having a moment of communion here. A very deep understanding of one another's energies. And this woman even has a couple of large, what could be raven wings in her hair. I don't know, but they are black. But I don't know, raven tail feathers maybe? Do they get that long? I don't know. But yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and interpret them. But like I said, it's always interesting to look to see what the figures on the cards are doing in relation to one another, or in relation to you as you view the cards. So like I said, Brigitte was the first goddess I ever worked with. Again, I was in my late teens, and I worked with her till I was like about 32 or so, and that's when the Egyptian gods called to me. And when the Egyptian gods call, you answer. So, 𝗔𝗿𝗁, the goddess of fire, she's a Celtic goddess. She has been synchronized with the Catholic Saint Bridget. She's been basically sainted so that the Catholics could, spread their religion all over Ireland. And she's a goddess of creativity. And so the fire that she's handing us, that's the flame of inspiration, that creative spark that's in everyone. Every one of us is creative in one way or another. Could be art, could be music, cooking, sewing, coming up with creative solutions to problems, writing. It runs the gambit. And so she's here saying, I'm handing you this spark of inspiration. Put it to good use. That's what I'm hearing. And then we have the awakening card. So the energy coming in with that spark is one of spiritual awakening and of growing as a person, growing as an individual, and obtaining higher levels of spiritual awareness. So it's like the more creative you are, the more parts of your brain that you use, And it's a fact, for everything that we do, all of our cognitive abilities, everything the body does physically, we're only using about 10% of our brain. So what's the other 90% there for? I've always believed that's where our creativity lives, our psychic abilities, all of our six senses are in that other 90%. And the more you tap into that, the more you awaken and you move up in your vibrational frequency and you increase your own spiritual awareness. And that, of course, increases your spiritual growth. So it's saying the flame of inspiration is coming and it's going to create a huge spiritual growth spurt, is what I'm seeing with these two cards. And then we have the Raven Goddess. So here what I'm seeing is this woman speaking with her raven. That's her totem animal. That's her spirit animal. That's her spirit guide in animal form. And it's not saying, well, we're all going to start being able to talk to animals or anything like that. But it's connecting on a deeper level. Perhaps with the animal kingdom, but I think this represents more of a deeper level of communication and interaction with our own set of angels and spirit guides, which would go hand in hand with the spiritual awakening. That's all part of it. So, a pretty deep reading, actually, for an oracle deck. But let's see what the book says. So we have 𝗔𝗿𝗁 here. Keywords: inspiration, revelation, and creativity. The great mother goddess 𝗔𝗿𝗁 offers you a flame of inspiration from her cauldron of brewing creativity. Such a gift as this must not be passed up. Now is the moment to act on the orders of your muse. She will speak to you in the midst of an artistic and creative endeavor when you are most receptive. Your eyes, hands, and ears will be guided to create magic. By following the instructions of your muse, you will find your soul is nourished and a greater meaning to your time on earth is understood. Inside the act of creativity is a hidden treasure, the ability to slip out of time into eternity. 𝗔𝗿𝗁 will inspire you to find your fire within. Wow. Okay, cool. Then we go on to awakening. The keywords for that card are sprouting, new beginnings, dawning. The awakening goddess opens her eyes to a fresh world bursting with life. She sprouts from the earth and is thoroughly grounded. However, she has been dreaming for so long, she finds she has become entangled in roots. New beginnings and awakenings simultaneously offer acceleration and recognition of the substantial struggles ahead. Drawing this card suggests that you have found yourself in such a state, but trust that the momentum of nature is on your side. The spring goddess encourages you to trust in your own innate abilities to make progress and have faith that you will push through. So again, connecting with your own spirit team, your spirit allies. And then we have the Raven Goddess. She'll be further in the book here. Okay. Keywords, messages, and omens. The raven's mythic status across many cultures is that of a shapeshifter and a mediator between the worlds of the living and the dead. They are messengers from the beyond and are bearers of an omen. To have a raven's knowledge indicates the ability to see beyond what is visible to the eye. The raven is one of the wisest of all animals. Drawing this card increases your ability to pick up on cosmic symbols and whisperings. It is a subtle talent that develops over time through our direct experiences. Stay open-minded and try to observe details that are often overlooked and dismissed as irrelevant. In other words, pay attention to signs and omens. That's just another way our angels and our spirit guides communicate with us every day. So there you go. The flip through of the Mystic Sisters Oracle deck by 𝗔𝗿𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗍, published by US Games Incorporated. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, and if you have this deck, what do you think of it? Or are you going to buy it? And as always, I do include my Amazon affiliate link for all products. So this deck will be linked below, Amazon USA, because that's the one Amazon that I use. And for those of you who have been ordering using my affiliate links, thank you so much. I just got my first gift card from Amazon for my affiliate links income, $10.82. But again, it's $10.82 I didn't have yesterday, and I'm so grateful. Thank you again for all your support. This is 𝗔𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃, and I'm wishing you a very blessed day ahead.